Hello everybody, this is Dr. Caroline Maria, working as an assistant professor in Loyola College of Education, Chennai. The title of the course is Knowledge and Curriculum. It comes under Course 8, in which we are going to deal with Unit 1, Epistemological Basis of Education. This is Part 1 video lecture, which is going to deal with meaning, branches of philosophy, meaning of epistemology, meaning, sources and types of knowledge. The objectives are the learner will be able to acquire knowledge about philosophy and its branches, understand the meaning, sources and types of knowledge at the end of this video lecture. Let us learn what is philosophy. The mere word philosophy came from Greek origin philosophia. Philo means love of, sophia means wisdom. Hence, the mere word philosophy means love of wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the knowledge and ability for proper utilization of knowledge in different situations. Whom do you call a person as a wise person? When a person has knowledge to differentiate between right and wrong, that person could be called as a wise person. These are some of the philosophical questions which comes in our mind. What is life? What is man's origin? What is man's destiny or goal? Who am I? Why am I here? Who are all these other people? What do they want of me? When you put all these questions in a nutshell, it comes as three main questions as what is good, what do we know, or what is true. These three main questions leads us to the three branches of philosophy. They are metaphysics, axiology and epistemology. The answer for the question what is called as reality, which deals with metaphysics. The answer for the question what is good deals with values, which is called as axiology. The answer for the question what do we know is the truth and the knowledge, which is otherwise called as epistemology. These are the three branches of philosophy. Let us learn all these three branches now. The word metaphysics came from Greek origin metaphysika. Meta means above, beyond or after. Physika means the scientific study of the world. Hence, metaphysics is the philosophical investigation of the nature of reality, being or existence. At present, right now, what is happening in front of me, when you want to gain knowledge about that is called as metaphysics. The next branch is axiology. Axiologia is a Greek origin. Axions or axion means value. Logia, logos is the study of or science of. Hence, axiology is the philosophical investigation of nature of values or foundation of judgments. The next branch is epistemology. Epistemologia is the Greek origin in which episteme means knowledge. Logia, logos means the study of or science of. Hence, epistemology is the study of knowledge. So, epistemology is the philosophical investigation of the nature of knowledge, truth, or the difference between knowledge and opinion, or difference between truth and falsity. Let's learn now what is epistemology. Epistemology is very important fundamental unit of knowledge because it deals with the thinking of a person. The study of epistemology focuses on the very main means of acquiring knowledge. In simple terms, the sources of knowledge is what called as epistemology. So there are two sorts of people who argue that empiricism is the source of knowledge or rationalism is the source of knowledge. Empiricism is gaining knowledge through our own experiences. So certain sort of people say that we gain knowledge only through our experiences. For example, we take all our sense organs. Sense organs are the gateways of knowledge through which we come to know the entire world. So sense organs makes us as well as gives us a sort of experience to gain knowledge. Other sort of people are arguing that knowledge comes only through reasoning. Any happening in the world, when you, for an example, if you take pollution, if you are trying to find out the real reason for pollution, which is unmindful human activities like throwing or dumping the garbage or burning garbage, using fossil fuel, all these unmindful activities cause pollution. When you really find out the reason for some happening, that is what called as rationalism. For example, another example, dropouts. Dropouts in school education and college education. When you try to find out the reason for dropout as poverty, there comes the knowledge. Let's see now what is knowledge. Knowledge is awareness about something. It could be in the form of some fact or information or some skill which is acquired through our own experiences. It is either theoretical as well as even practical, which will make us to understand the subject. And it is even otherwise called as justified true belief. Let me give you an example. Say for an example, if I tell you that B.Ed is going to become 1-year course from the academic year 2021 to 2022. If I say this, immediately you would ask me, ma'am, is it true? Where do you have the proof? Can you prove it? All these questions you would be asking because you won't be just believing what I am saying. So, when I come with authentic information from NCTE guidelines or from government order or Supreme Court order, then seeing that you will believe. So by which your knowledge will be constructed. I come again. When I give you an information, you just go for authentic proof of that information and you verify whether it is true or not. When you, after verification, when you find it is true, then you will believe. Then your belief will justify that particular fact as knowledge. So, your belief is called as the justified true belief that constructs the knowledge. So, when any information is given to any person, when it is proven as truth, that will increase the belief in a person and that will construct the knowledge of the person. But when any information is given to a person, when it is not proven to be truth, it will fade away from the person and that will not construct the knowledge of the person. Yes? Now, knowledge is even otherwise called as justified true belief, as I told you already. Let me give you another example. If I say that sun rises in the east, we all know that it is a proven fact. But if you want to really experience that, you just go out and check facing east. When you see the sun rise, you experience really the sun is rising in the east and you believe. So the fact which I have told or the information which I have told, through your experience you believe, and that becomes a justified true belief, and that will help you to construct your knowledge. So with regard to knowledge, these three terminologies we are supposed to focus on: truth, belief and justification. So any information when it is given, only if it is true proposition can be counted as knowledge. And the belief construct the knowledge when it is true. And justification happens when the truth becomes belief and the construction of knowledge is justifiable. Let us focus on the characteristics of knowledge. When a person gets knowledge, it will not keep him calm and quiet. Rather, knowledge will kindle the interest in a person. So, the more a person gets, the more he will crave for knowledge. And experience is the one which gives the knowledge to the people. Once the knowledge is gained, it will remember forever. For example, alphabets, numbers which you have learned when you were very small, it is still there in your memory. It depends upon the facts as well as even the values. And it depends upon the time also. It depends upon the consequence of time. For example, in the year 2020, we are mainly talking about COVID-19. After some 10 years, this will not be there. People will not be talking about COVID-19. At that period, people may be talking about some other information, something else. So, it is with regard to the time also, knowledge keeps changing and it is limitless. There is no boundary for knowledge. We can keep learning and we can keep improving our knowledge through various sources, and it will create a sort of desire in every person with regard to the thirst for knowledge. And the seeds of knowledge may be planted in an individual, but it must be cultivated in public. With your knowledge, for an example, if you invent something, when you share your knowledge with other people only, that will become benefit for others. Rather, if you say that no, this is my own intellectual property, this is my knowledge, I don't want to share with anybody. If you say like that, your knowledge will die with you. So, we are supposed to give or share our knowledge with other people for the benefit of others. Sources of knowledge. There are 5 main sources of knowledge. They are perception, reasoning, introspection, memory and testimony. In short, we can call it as PRIMT. This is the memory technique you can use. PRIMT. P for perception, R for reasoning, I for introspection, M for memory and T for testimony. Let us learn one after the other now. Perception. What do you mean by perception? Perception means sensation plus past experience. Let me give you an example. An attentive student in class, he is getting a loud noise from outside. Okay, so he finds out and his concentration from the class goes to outside loud noise and he is trying to find out what the particular noise is. When he identifies the loud noise as thunder, that is what called as perception. So here what happens actually? Sensation. Sensation is the sense organs plus external stimuli. As I told you, getting the loud noise outside, by which the ear is the sense organ and the external stimuli is the loud noise. And because of the past experience of the student is able to identify the loud noise as thunder. Without past experience, perception is not at all possible. So, knowledge is gained by perceiving through experiences of our senses. Okay, so the second source of knowledge is reasoning. Reason is considered as the source of knowledge which is related to our thinking in a logical way. Anything, whatever happens in the world, when you try to find out the reason for that, that will construct the knowledge of a person. There are 2 major types of reasoning called inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is from specific to general. For an example, if I say Indian Ocean has salt water, then I apply the same phenomena of salt water is there in ocean to all the other ocean. That is what called as inductive reasoning. Here, from specific, I am moving to general. Indian Ocean has salt water, hence all oceans have salt water. In the other words, deductive reasoning is from general to specific. For an example, all oceans have salt water, hence Indian Ocean has salt water. Okay, so to have it in your memory, inductive reasoning specific to general, have it in your mind, inspected general. So, inductive, specific, general. When you have it in your mind, you won't have any confusion whether inductive reasoning is specific to general or general to specific. I repeat, you can have a memory technique as inspected general. The next source is introspection. Introspection is self-examination. So, certain people say that knowledge comes only through introspection. When you keep examining yourself to check in that particular situation why I have behaved like that, I know I am wrong or I know I am right. When you are trying to find out the real reason for all your behavior through your self-examination, that is what called as introspection, and by which you are going for a self-internal evaluation by which your knowledge keeps increasing. The next source is memory. Memory is just like a storehouse. For an example, whichever information what you have learned during your childhood, still there it is there in your memory. For example, alphabets, numbers, the names of family members, or any incident if I ask, you will be retrieving it from your memory. So memory is called as the storehouse of our knowledge. The next one is testimony. Testimony is the word of mouth which we hear from other people. It relies on the others to acquire knowledge as well as to communicate to us. For an example, if a mother is coming out with an experience of explaining the delivery experience by which we'll come to know, or otherwise if a victim is coming forward by his word of mouth about the crime, we'll come to know what really happened in that particular situation. So these are the sources of knowledge. Let's focus on the types or forms of knowledge. In a broader sense, knowledge could be divided into two categories as a priori knowledge or posteriori or empirical knowledge. A priori actually literally means from before or from earlier. So it depends upon the empirical evidence, real evidence, and it is even depending upon the deductive reasoning. We have already learned what is deductive reasoning, from general to specific. So from general phenomena, when you are focusing on specific phenomena, that is what called as, that is actually from previous to present. That is what called as actually a priori knowledge. For an example, fish lives in water. It is general. Hence, fish tank needs water to keep fish alive. So you are coming to a conclusion that fish tank needs water. That is specific. The second broader sense is posteriori knowledge or empirical knowledge. Posteriori means from what comes later or what comes after. It is derived from the observation, perception, supervision or experience. It is based upon the inductive reasoning. So here actually specific to general. Water in fish tank, when you observe, then you come to a conclusion saying that so all fish needs water to live. So from specific to general is what called as empirical knowledge. With regard to the Indian philosophers, this forms of knowledge divided into two categories as Paravidya and Aparavidya. Paravidya get with the help of sense organs as well as reasoning, which is related to our material world. Whichever knowledge which we get in relation to material world is called as Paravidya. The knowledge which we get with regard to spiritual world is called as Aparavidya. Here, with the help of one's own self-introspection or self-realization, that gives a person good knowledge. These are the other types of knowledge: intuitive knowledge, demonstrative knowledge, sensitive knowledge, authoritative knowledge, pragmatic knowledge, revealed knowledge, and digital knowledge. Let's see what is intuitive knowledge. You would have heard about the word intuition. Intuition is just like a sort of sudden flash which happens in our mind, and it is an immediate knowledge of the absolute which is obtained through some sort of wisdom, and it will help a person to use his internal sense organs, and it will help a person to become a very intellectual person. With regard to this intuition, it is related to perception. We know already perception is our sensation plus past experience. So when you perceive something as correct, for an example, when you perceive red is not yellow, goat is not dog, cow is not cat, that is what called as your intuition. So here intuition gives a clearest as well as most certain knowledge. The next type of knowledge is demonstrative knowledge. It is gained by intervening the ideas, meditation, rational thinking, and it is mostly employed in mathematics and science. See, for an example, if you want to know or find out the relationship between A and C with the help of B, when A is greater than B and B is greater than C, ultimately A is greater than C. Okay? The next one is sensitive knowledge. So here it deals with the stimulus response bond. So sense organs are the organs which are, we know, they are the gateways of knowledge, they become sensitized by external stimuli, and whatever signal the sense organ gives through external stimuli will be taken to brain, and from there the responses arises. So, the knowledge derived from logical reasoning is superior than the sensitive knowledge. For an example, I would say, when you come across with the burning candle, when you touch the hot wax, we become sensitized and we just store the information that the burning things will hurt us. Okay, when you apply the same knowledge for all burning things, that is what called as sensitive knowledge. It doesn't mean that every time you need to go and get yourself hurt. When it is done with burning candle, it is applicable to even burning stove or any burning things. Okay, then the next one is authoritative knowledge, and this is gained from permanent principles. For example, any proven scientific fact, earth revolves around the sun, it is an authoritative knowledge because it is scientifically proven by the scientist. The next one is pragmatic knowledge. Pragma means practical. So testimony through our own senses. So it is based upon our own experiences as well as our own experiments and observation. For example, gravitational force. When I teach gravitational force, what do? You can take a ball, just put it up, and you see whether the ball comes down. When ball comes down, you experience the gravitational force. So through your practical experience, you gain your knowledge. That is called as pragmatic knowledge. The next one is revealed knowledge. That is actually whichever knowledge revealed by God to human being. For example, Holy Bible, Holy Quran, all these are revealed by God to human beings. The last type of knowledge is digital knowledge, from all the electronic gadgets in the form of digital information. For example, social media, any WhatsApp, mail or Facebook, all this digital TV, everything, whatever we come across with regard to electronic gadgets and which gives us knowledge, that is called as digital knowledge. Some key takeaways from this video lecture are: knowledge is limitless. There is no time bound for knowledge. You can explore various ways to improve your knowledge and develop a sort of thirst for your knowledge. You can utilize all your gained knowledge productively for the benefit of others. I am giving you some points for you to reflect on. Find out your thirst area for knowledge. Put forth your ideas to increase your knowledge in the area of your interest. What are your plans for improving your vocabulary? I am sure that everyone is provided with an Android phone. You can download the application of dictionary, and every day you make it a point that you learn one word with a meaning, proper spelling and usage, by which you can improve your vocabulary. I have given you some books for you to read for your further references. Thank you for listening. Wish you good luck.